Howdy folks, welcome to another video. Today I was going to do some painting. Unfortunately the weather's had a difference of opinion, so the plan was today was to do a little bit of grinding. I finished off the welding the other day. I didn't film it because I needed to get through it and kind of crack on with it, but I'll show you what the welding I've done so far. So there we go, so that's all kind of done. There is a little bit more to just do in there, but these just need grinding off and cleaning. Also, where is it? Down here, that patch is now in. And like I say, that just needs a bit of just going over with the Dremel grinder that I've got and just tighten up them edges. Now the plan for today was to do that and also put a little bit of seam sealer around them and just pretty up the doodahs. Unfortunately it's raining. You could probably hear the rain on the top. There you go, all manner of wetness coming down. Yeah, and well, like I say, the plan was to do some grinding. Unfortunately, water and electrics don't famously get on that well, and I don't want to get electrocuted. So today is a bit of a write-off, really. The weather might improve. The old sun is trying to poke its head out, but it's way above the clouds, and this could go on like this for another God knows how long. I did manage when I got here to chuck some paint on the front panel there. Now, surprising enough, I couldn't get hold of any cherry red locally. I'd have to order it off the old Tinterweb, and I really desperately wanted to get some paint on there. So what I've ended up using is the closest match I could find really in the shop was some Volkswagen Mars Red number 2. There you go, so that's what I've used, and to be fair, it looks alright, doesn't look too bad. But yeah, I think today's a bit of a write-off, so plan is to go back home and come back tomorrow. Are you going to stop weather? Are you going to stop raining? I think it's just stopped raining. See how it's going to go. Yeah, like I say, can't really grind and use electric in the wet. So you'll have to join me tomorrow, where I hope the weather's a little bit better. So, see you tomorrow. Right folks, it's been a couple of hours, and well, we did have blue skies earlier, but yeah, so decided to do a bit. So at the moment I'm just fiddling with the bumper. I'll show you in a minute what I'm doing with that. But if we go over here, so there we go. So the weather improved enough in order to be able to put some seam seal around there to give it some protection. Let that dry off, and then give it a couple of coats of paint, and the inside and all in there. This side's pretty much all done, that's painted, just got to wait for that bit there to dry off. But the seam sealer's on. I just need to do a bit of seam sealing and trimming down there, but the weather's turned again, and there goes my trim. So it's been a few hours, so I managed to do that. I also happened to be looking on old Facebook, you know, as you do whilst the weather was improving, and not very far away, probably about 2-3 miles, is a breaker's yard, scrap yard called Albert Looms's. It's been going for, I want to say over 100 years or so. It's been going for a long time. I think old Mrs. Looms recently passed away. I think it was last year or year before. I want to say last year. But anyway, still going, family owned. Great little business. Huge scrapyard. So, and I noticed that they put up on Facebook that they got a Peugeot 205 in, 5-door, left-hand drive from old France, and they put it up today. So of course, not being very far away, I nipped down there and got quite a few bits. I'll show you those in a minute, but I'll show you what I've done to the bumper. Right, first off, this has been repaired. So when I took this bumper off, there was a great big hole here, not this little round hole, but all this was missing, and there's a bit of damage here. So I think the bolt had rusted off and they just ragged it out and cut it. So what I originally had done is, if you join me over here, there it is, lovely. So down here is a spare bumper top GTI that I bought, and this was originally I was just going to swap it out and jobs are good. Unfortunately, this one has got a bit more damage. You can see somewhere along there, about where my thumb is, there's a great big crack, and it's got some other dings and whatnot to it. So I decided not to use that and just repair the bumper that I've got. So this has become a parts bumper. So what I've done is, where are we? There we go. So there we go. So I've cut that piece out and I Q-bonded it, trimmed it up and Q-bond, good old Q-bond, sticks out to out, onto the existing bumper. So this has essentially just become a bitzer parts. Now, the great thing about this bumper, it only cost me I think it was 25 quid off eBay, and I collected it the other week, and I got some other bits of trim as well. So in total I got that plus one rear arch and 2 door trims for like 65, I think it was 60 quid. Which really is a bargain, consider that genuine trim is a bit expensive. And they don't make it, or they probably do, but it's really expensive. So, come over here. The next job is this. So in here goes this rubber piece, which sits in there with these little clips that just push in like that. They just push in, yeah, you get the gist. They just push in. Fortunately, this one, with it being damaged, not really good. So gonna use the old technique which I did for this. Use that bumper, cut that section out, cut the broken bit off here, and then good old Q-bond to the rescue and glue it back together. What else have I been doing to it? Let that dry and then I'll be able to put them back in. Now the one that was originally, this isn't the one that was fitted to this bumper on the car, this was off the parts bumper. My one was damaged, so luckily that bumper, it's 25 quid, but it's yielded quite a few bits. Not only does it come with, oh there it goes, falling on the floor. So I've got a spare bit of trim. So I've got 2 now. So I've got 2 of those, but it also yielded these, which are the bumper brackets. So these fit, let me show you. So they fit like that, and like where are we? There we go. So like that, and they're mint, brand new, not rusty. As you can see, they're really clean. And plus a load of these clips as well, which always tend to break. Yeah, so what I had to do, unfortunately, like I say, this bumper was originally on the sides, had used these kind of tech screws, a bit longer, a bit bigger, to hold the sides of the bumper up, because passenger side had rotted through, so I just got the old death wheel out and cut it off. This one is for the passenger side, so you can see there, caught it a little bit, but this is the remnants. So this is the remnants of the old one. So that, believe it or not, is the nut. Yeah, corrosion, eh? Great. Looks like a small mountain. So that had to be cut off, and using the death wheel. But we're getting there, folks. We're getting there. So once I've sorted out that little bit of issue there, also some of the bolts, not tightened up. That's always a good thing. And then just this fog light to sort out. I need to take this off because this is the one that's got a dirty great big hole in it, and the frame's nadgered, and the other fog light needs changing because the frame on that's all rusted out. So I'm just going to fork out for a new pair. You can get them on eBay for like 30-40 odd pounds. That's not too bad. It's not going to break the bank. I'll give these brackets a clean up, because these ultimately go onto the car. They go onto the front slam panel, I do believe, here or there. I think it's there. So yeah, it's slowly getting there. Oh, let me show you the parts that I got from Looms's for the Peugeot. Well, not just this Peugeot, but maybe future project Peugeots. Who knows? Right, you join me in a rather small shed, as you can tell. Not much headroom. I'm not particularly tall, but yeah, not particularly big shed anyway. So these are the parts that I got from that Peugeot. It was quite a good score. A lot of people had already inquired about it. So parts that I got off was an original scissor jack. Yeah, all the death. An antenna. Now, these bits I'm quite excited about. Well, one of them I am, the other I'm not. So this goes on the back of the headlight to cover the bulb, and that's where the connectors pop through. Now this is an aftermarket part for an aftermarket headlight. This was on the passenger side, which would be the driver's side in the UK. This is the same thing as that, but more fancy. So yeah, check that out. I haven't seen one of those in years. So there's only one, but that's handy. That's all right. Nice original part. I hope so anyway. Then some other bits and pieces. I got both rear lights. Let's just, there we go. Both rear lights and lower fog light and reverse light. Can you see that? Yeah. And then in this tail light, tell you what, let's get out the shed. Cricking my neck in there. Right. So other bits that I managed to get were some handles. Now, the Peugeot that was at the scrapyard had electric front windows. It's quite unusual, but windies in the back. So I've got both of them. Also got a water pump for the washer pump. One of these, which is the negative battery terminal holdy thingy, screwy dangly bit. This I'm quite not excited about, but it was a bit of a find. So opened up the ashtray, and the ashtray was full of cigarettes, or cigarette butts. Now, the cigarette lighter on this car doesn't work. I've tested it, it's kaput. Now I got this one. Now, this was in the car, this was what was fitted, and as you can see, it's a bit bleh. But on the driver's seat, a virtually brand new one. So whoever owned this car enjoyed smoking a lot. Also got the dials, the heater trim dials, got all three of those. Yeah, as you can see. And some various other little screws and bits and pieces. So that was a good score. What else? I originally, before I started preparing this bumper with that, I did pop down and have a look at that bumper. Unfortunately, that one was in even worse condition. They definitely used the bumper for bumpering stuff. Used it for its purpose. So I didn't bother. But yeah, there's probably some bits that I could do with. That I might go back at some point and grab. But in all, pretty impressed. A good haul. And all of that, considering all them bits, and this is why I like Loomses. Let's go back in the shed. This is why I like Looms, because all them bits, all them, the lights, the rear fog light, the reverse light, these covers, the old antennae, and the old scissor jack, or death jack, as they call them. Guess how much? Guess how much? 50 quid? 40 quid? No? 30 quid? No. 20 quid. 20 English pounds it cost. So, really impressed with that. That's, yeah, really good. It's always worth buying in bulk. So, yeah. So that's where I am at the moment. What next? Well, in the next video, I will be finishing off this bumper. Like I say, repairing that bit. And then throwing the front of the car all together. So get the headlights on. I think I mentioned in the previous video that I've got new old stock indicators coming, because the passenger side one, it's there, but it's a bit broken. There's chunks missing out of it. There's a chunk at the top missing, chunk at the bottom. Doesn't show any bad light, but I managed to pick a new old stock set for, I think it was 25 quid plus like 4 something for postage, so that's good. So under 30 quid for a set of new old stock. So they're turning up anytime soon, hopefully, because once they're turned up I can throw them in and then put the headlights in, and then once the headlights are in, put the bumper on. Well, I'll probably put the bumper on first. Yeah, bumper on first. Once all this is done, bumper on first, then the indicators, then the headlights. Plug them all in, give it all check, make sure it all works, hook up the battery, and that is pretty much all the welding and painting and faffing that I need to do on the front. So yeah. And then the next stage is front wheel trims. So I've got them at home. Now and obviously I need to do the bumper as well. I was going to paint them, but then so I'm going to use the old heat gun technique. I've got a heat gun that is for wallpaper stripping and stuff like that. And wallpaper stripping? No, you don't use a heat gun for wallpaper stripping. For stripping paint off like your side skirts on, you know, sideboards and all that stuff, off wood. You know what I mean. So, going to try that technique, heat them up, and hopefully bring them back to life. If that's good, then do obviously the side trim, rear arch, rear bumper. And then once that's done, and also giving it a good clean and another polish, well, I say another polish, I need to finish polishing off, doing the rest of the doors, the rear quarters, the boots, the bumper. So there's still lots to do, and then once that's all done and I'm happy with it, then it will be on to fitting the roof. Not looking forward to that, gonna be honest. But you know, hey ho. So I'll leave it there. If you enjoy this kind of stuff and enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, it's up to you. And like and subscribe, it really does help. Obviously, you know, more subscribers, you know, because this isn't a full-time thing. I'd love to do this full-time and be one of those YouTubers of fixing old tat. Yeah, so until next time folks, have a good one, and see you on the next one. Ta-da, bye-bye.